Oh, hey.
It's all hail Hydra.
Are we all here this time?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why Skype is acting like such an ass.
I think it just doesn't like you.
Yeah, probably. Okay. It's,
I don't like you.
Is that how Skype talks?
I guess. Okay, I gotta
I
quickly...
don't like you. You are a failure at life.
We gotta open up my...
It's shelfist.
Yes, it's shellfish.
Can only open up the stream and stuff. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to skip the Sombra thing, but that's fine.
There really isn't much of a Sombra thing anyway.
Well, one sec. I'll talk after as soon as this commercial is over.
Hmm?
Hey, shut up!
There's like
Yeah. No,
maybe a page.
yeah, which I was gonna say since yeah, one sec. The plan was going to be to do the show talk, which I'm guessing Dex has the thing written out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Oh, why won't you save my audio source? And was to do that and then do a thing of the summer blog because there's at least enough for 10 or 20 minutes worth, and then do the show read. Source.
Did you ever hear anything back from that Harry Potter thing you were looking into?
Yeah, he said no because somebody else already asked.
Okay.
Okay. We're streaming. It better be. Yep, we are.
Now just don't cross the streams, you two. You know what happens.
Okay.
Marshmallow fluff?
Only sometimes.
And I can get straight talking about the show. Dex, if you will.
Alright, so this week, we got was it Blue and Gloom? Or, yeah. Anyway, let's just hit the message real quick, and then we'll hit some overarching thoughts.
Okay.
Message. This was a story about fear. Fear of the future. I'm going to nail down 3 fears, and then we'll talk about what the message was regarding those fears, and then we'll move on. The main fears we obviously saw were getting stuck with a cutie mark she didn't like.
Yeah.
Having a cutie mark that was different from her family, something, non-Apple. And then the last one is separation from friends due to this new cutie mark. I'll go into more detail as to what those relate to an actual, person's, a human's life would be. The message was generally, if you're afraid of what the future holds, remember that you aren't alone.
Yeah.
And just remember to be yourself, and the rest will take care of itself in time. And we see this both at the beginning and at the end. They want to, at the end, they're, with the care package, we see them actually kind of resolve to help somebody else see this. Okay, overarching thoughts. Each of the dreams illustrates one of these primary fears Applebloom is trying to overcome. The first is the fear of a cutie mark she doesn't want, and responsibility for that job. That could be a major responsibility. And responsibility for a kid could be very scary. Also, being made fun of for something she can't control, a surprise talent she wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
It's also, without a mark, she might be useless with how futile her attempts to do her job after she gave it up were. She's useless to the town. She's not, this equates to a fear that may be felt by some kids when they aren't sure what they want to be when they grow up, and whether they're going to be,
I still
useful.
feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people still feel it that way, but it's it's a very common fear. Any other chime-ins on that one?
Yeah. When you said that thing about not being able to do this stuff after she lost her mark, it made me think of a question. Does the pony make the mark, or does the mark make the pony? Like,
I think they are, from my perspective, the mark is just an outward expression of what the pony already has.
Okay.
When we got the equality thing, that was magic. That was both taking away the mark. But I think that may have been an outward sign of something else that was taken away. The talent was taken away, and then maybe the mark just went with it because, that's how that particular spell worked.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's purely theory, but I think
good
it's
theory to me.
fairly well supported.
I see it as being sort of, once you both understand and have completely come to terms with the entirety of who you are, that's when it appears, and it's sort of a representation of that.
Yeah, it's the representation of the epiphany of who you are.
Which is why it always annoys me slightly when they refer to it as a special talent.
Mm.
That's clearly not all it is.
Yeah.
There is that one hook that has a hamburger for a cutie mark. Not a hayburger, a hamburger. What's his special talent?
Murder. Murder most foul.
No, not foul. Murder most cow.
Ah!
Perhaps he cooks for griffins.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Does anybody need a link to the stream?
I don't want to link. I can't watch the stream because I realized when I started using the software yesterday that it records whatever is playing. So anything like an ad or anything that played is going to show up on my recording. So
Unfortunately, if I listen to myself, the universe will implode. So
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
My head will just implode.
Moving right along. The second one illustrated losing her friends due to having her mark. Bless you. The change separates her friends, illustrating two ways it could separate them. By she getting her mark first, or the other two getting their marks first, and it could create a separation for them in her thought process. And Babs getting her mark and leaving the CMC really, that really brought up that thing they hadn't thought about yet.
Yeah.
Separation and growing apart is something that can be very scary for kids. Responsibilities driving this as well. One of them says, sweet of a school or sweet about, they say, we have things to do now. Basically, we have responsibilities, so we can't hang out with you. You have no responsibilities yet, so we don't have time. This gives me the idea that kind of affirms what idea I already had, if we can take these words to mean something, that the basic way equestrian education works is, for the most part, you have your basic primary reading, writing, things everybody needs to know. And then, once you find your talent, you start doing apprenticeship. And when you finish your primary, you go completely into that apprenticeship. You might just do part-time apprenticeship while you're still kind of in elementary. But once you've graduated out of that, you're really doing apprenticeship for the thing you're supposed to do. Now, yeah. Anybody chime in on that one?
I have nothing.
All right.
Anybody else? It's not.
All right. The third one illustrates her fear of rejection by her family because of what her cutie mark is. It's exaggerated, obviously, because it's from a child's perspective, but no less potent.
Yeah.
Family is incredibly important to the apples. and if you'll pardon the pun, would chill one of them to the core if they were separated. This might relate to, in a real-world situation, to a kid wanting to become something, especially creatives, and not having necessarily the support of their family. You know, it's like, I want to become this. Well, we don't think you should go after that kind of job. You know, that sort of thing. Not having the approval of their family for their job, so.
Yeah.
And with such a tight-knit family, that can be a big thing, especially when everybody is in the same business. You know, it's like if a whole family of plumbers and one of them decided to go be a DJ, it'd be a little...
Mushroom.
A mushroom?
Mario reference.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's my kind of take on what that was supposed to represent. I did like the reveal of the shadow as the mystery voice. The nightmares were reflections of her fears, inflated to the nth degree by her own mind.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Cutie mark nervousness must be such a killer, considering how integrated it is into who you are, and you basically wear it on your sleeve. You know, if you're an architect, you don't wear it on your sleeve. If you're a this or a that, you don't necessarily wear it on your sleeve what you do for a living.
Unless you're a hipster.
But, yeah, you don't necessarily wear it on your sleeve. It's something so vital and core to who you are that must... Nervousness about that is nervousness about yourself, and that's gotta be just... That's gotta be killer.
Particularly when the society reinforces that once you get this thing, you're more or less permanently locked into it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably going to like it because otherwise you wouldn't be having it. But,
yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Which just leads to think that Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara are screwed when they grow up.
What are you going to do?
I'm just going to sit here and be a spoiled princess. Daddy, what do you mean we don't have any more money?
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, I thought it was fun how they played with the little details in this episode. In each of the kitchen scenes, breakfast changes. In the first...
I did not notice that.
Yeah. It's fairly normal-looking pancakes with apples on the side and what might be limes or grapes. But if you watch in the second iteration of the dream, pancakes have whipped cream and chocolate chips. There are also what look like lemons instead of the apples. So, I mean, it's getting more, as they get more, the concerns get more and more out there. I mean, weirder and weirder. And more diverted from reality, the more the stuff on the table gets stranger. Okay, third time is the weirdest. There's a fancy layer cake, cupcakes, fish in purple punch, apple cores, dog biscuits, honey, and cinnamon rolls. It might be a honey bun, I'm not sure, but it looks kind of like a cinnamon roll. I could be wrong. But, again, lots of weird stuff for them to have. I mean, pancakes and apples seem like a really relatively normal breakfast for the Apple family. But, yeah.
I gotta watch the show again because I did not notice that.
Some of the imagery, they really went all out on the dreamscape.
Yeah.
And I found some of the things, particularly in the apple scene in the kitchen, with the switching of voices and dialogue.
Yeah.
That was very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. And then the complete void she was dropped into. It's like, yeah, that's definitely a dream there. Yeah, the changes definitely suggest that second and third were dreams.
Yeah.
I had my suspicions of the first one, considering we've always seen them with cutie marks as they're doing something related to it. or as an epiphany about themselves. They're always, like Applejack's was just an epiphany. She saw, the rain boom, saw that she realized she was supposed to be at the apple farm, at the apple orchard, and that was an epiphany about herself, and that drove her to do that. The rain boom was Rainbow Dash doing it. That's how that, how that came to be. Each thing was, they were doing something. They didn't just wake up with it. It was always, they were doing something related to it, and then they got their mark.
Twist was making her peppermint twists and realized that's what she is.
Yeah. It's all, every one of them was either an epiphany about the thing was going on when they got it, or they, they did it, something like that. They were doing it. A big thing that this finale to the CMC and Luna Trio may be hinting at is that the CMC may be closing in on figuring out what we've known for a very long time, their talents. Sweetie Belle and Scoots may already have an idea of what their talents are, considering they dream about them, and then they turn to nightmares when they doubt themselves about whether it is their real talent.
Yeah.
Also,
what?
I do want to point out, I am very happy that they've actually defined how Luna goes about the dreams at this point.
The doors.
Rather than the continual question of, is she in everyone's dream all the time? What's going on?
Lots and lots of doors.
Be careful of those naughty dreams you're having, Josh. Luna's watching.
A dreamwalker is a very strange and kind of disconcerting thing. I mean, for kids, helping the kids get through nightmares, yes, that's fine. Yeah. But a benevolent princess that goes through and helps children through their nightmares, that's fine. But that could, if she ever abused it for, her own amusement or pleasure, it could be, quite.
Let's just hope
wrong.
She doesn't have the hots for any pony. That might get awkward.
Yes.
But I mean, one thing, if she ever got turned to the dark side by what's-her-face evil ponies you might hate, then, wow, we have a way to detect thought crimes now.
The Orwellian.
Absolutely.
Luna's Orwellian.
First the village,
system.
then the world.
Okay, where was I? We also saw what their nightmare jobs were. Scoot's nightmare is a baker. I guess waiting around would be, waiting for things to bake would not be something that would suit her very well. And Sweetie Belle's is a custodian. Though she has shown she doesn't really mind getting dirty. She jumped in the mud, but maybe that's just something she really doesn't want to deal with.
She's good at making messes. She doesn't like to clean them up.
Well, I think the custodian thing is not really the job itself, but it's more of, if she was a singer, everybody would be looking at her, cheering her on, right? But custodians, if you ever seen one at school, they just mostly get passed by, and nobody really pays a second thought to them.
That's another good idea. Visiting, whether they're actually noticed or not. It's an interesting point. Apple Bloom didn't seem too distressed by the bug catching job, but it still could.
Until the reaction to it.
Yeah. It still could be her nightmare job, given that her dreams were using it to work through her stress about a bad cutie mark. So this was an example of a bad cutie mark, and this was her dreams working through that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a slightly. I don't think it was necessarily a bad mark. More that the problem is, Diamond and Silver would have made fun of it no matter what it was. So,
Yeah.
and she seemed to be enjoying it, actually. At least at the beginning.
Yeah. She's like, I'm good at this. This is fun.
She was good.
And then,
Which is
and then
actually
it's like,
that's a great attitude for that, to the point of, if that's the case, it doesn't matter what it is, because whatever it is, I'm going to find it fun.
exactly.
Okay, speaking of which, what was the name of those little lightning bugs?
Twitter mites.
Twitter mice. Do you think they really exist? Or is it just something she dreamed up completely?
I find it unlikely that they exist, because she hadn't heard about it in the dream.
That's what I mean.
It does seem like the sort of thing that you might come up with in a dream, because it's the sort of thing that would be very good at tormenting people and doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you wanted, Discord could make them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What also an interesting thing about this whole dream bit was the whole the old pest pony retiring as soon as he found out she was available.
Yeah.
Does that happen with rare cutie marks? It's like, you're going to work until somebody happens to come up with the same cutie mark or a similar cutie mark. You're going to do that job until you die, or somebody comes up with a cutie mark that covers what you were doing.
So that's why Luna and Celestia are still princesses.
Yeah. They're not really immortal. It's just nobody else has come up with that cutie mark yet.
That's why Granny Smith is still miraculously alive after what must be more than 200 years.
And when they do come with that cutie mark, they get killed.
They immediately explode.
Oh no, it's like
I know, they turn into dust. They shrivel up into dust like a vampire.
Is it a bit of a...
Especially Granny Smith.
Is it a bit of a, a situation where
poor Apple Bloom. That would be terrible. Her cutie mark is an apple pie. No, Granny Smith!
There's just a, here's a dark dystopian turn on it. There are managers of cutie marks. And when there are too many ponies with the same cutie mark, they move them. Or remove them from the population in order to keep the economic balance correct.
Well, they send them to our world.
Get out!
That's what I think.
You know what
I'm
the
surprised.
whole cutie mark situation reminds me of?
What?
The Insurgent series. Or, no, the, Divergent series. Where they each have their own thing. And once you're that forever.
I'm surprised that if everyone already has their job that they're guaranteed to be really good at, locked in at some point, that everyone isn't just on an equal government stipend of money, and commercialism just dies.
Soviet pony wants you to work hard.
So any other tidbits?
Yes, that one got off on a nice little tangent there. I love AJ's maternal nature in this episode. It really shows her experience of being a mother of sorts to Applebloom.
You sounded like Reba McEntire.
Yeah, a little bit. I really love her singing when she gets to not do, Raise the Sparn was okay,
Not the
but...
Hicktown style.
Yeah, but when she gets to sing kind of more soulfully like this, why can't we get more of those songs? They're awesome. And of course, well, to me, AJ is best pony, so it's doubly good. But, she has to kind of be the mother with, Granny Smith's too old and Big Mac's, he could be kind of a father or older brother figure to her, but he can't really, she doesn't have a real motherly figure except for Applejack. And so it's, it's really cool to see that part of her. That does lend, several have said, that lends to why she's probably the most level-headed of the group. And just, holding back Rainbow.
She has all that responsibility.
Yeah. she holds back Rainbow in the Friendship is Magic Part 1. Yeah, she catches her by the tail and goes, "No, hold on. Let's not go there just yet." You know.
Yeah.
And after all this episode has to say, she's shown to be right on the money. I mean, it took Luna to teach her and the dreams to teach her, but a cutie mark won't change you no matter what you get. You know, it's. I really love that when we get Applejack, you know, being Miss Responsibility, Miss Level-Headed, and we see that a lot. That's why she doesn't get a lot of like big episodes, is because she's already kind of really level-headed and doesn't really have a whole lot of problems. She's a little stubborn and she has a bit of pride, but
Yeah,
other than
she's
that,
back
she
pony.
doesn't have a whole lot of faults. Okay. Just some last details. More of a joke, but Appleboom is still obsessed with the roll call. Could she be a future mayor?
Yeah. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe she's just another mini Twilight.
Could be.
I could totally see her with a checklist.
Well, they did have that map. They're like, we do this and we do that. And they're checking it off that one episode. Thought that was fun. We get Squeaky Belle again. Which is that first
She
scene.
shows up a lot.
Yes, I like Squeaky Belle. It's cute. Her own face as her cutie mark may have been a bit of a wink to the community with the way Friendship is Magic. Friendship is Witchcraft used Twilight's face as Appleboom's mark at one point, so it may have been a wink to, you know, the fans. Like, we saw it too. And I think my last detail was I did love how Appleboom took advantage of it being a dream, and when she was in the dream and she was in the clubhouse, when she tapped her hoof like a gavel, instead of the banging sound, we get the little squeaky sound. And the fact that Luna giggled at that, so that was fun.
It's Scooter flying, that was cool.
It's like, this is a dream? Awesome!
Yeah. Whee! Yes, now, what is it called?
She's a Pegasus, not a Pegasus.
Yeah. And apparently Luna turns normal dreams into lucid dreams.
I guess like some other tidbits would be that Bab's seed also has the same cutie mark as Snip's.
I didn't think of that.
Which is interesting.
They're destined to be together.
Which is interesting.
Oh, no.
There's a weird shit.
Very interesting, which shows that more than two ponies can have the same cutie mark, but then again, they aren't in the same location, so...
Well, it's not that you can't have two with the same mark. It's that you can't have over so many of the population filled with it, because then you have way too many DJs, or you have way too many writers, or too many...
And it's not necessarily the same mark, it's just a similar thing. I
Yeah.
mean, he isn't
It's the same
necessarily a
premise.
hairdresser. He may cut other things.
True. Did Luna's
Come to
voice
think
sound...
of it, I don't recall ever being informed what Snips or Snell's talents are. What do they do?
Oh,
One cuts out pictures, and the other makes escargot.
and when are we ever going to see Puppy Dog Tales?
That's their second cousin. He lives
They're-
in Manhattan, too.
Their second cousin that's never talked about, for good
He
reason.
lives in Manhattan. They've never met yet.
Did Luna sound different to anyone?
Not that I noticed.
I don't think so.
Eh.
She was less shouty than normal.
Ah, that must have been it.
Yes, she's
Don't
she's
forget,
come.
this was Dream World.
Yeah. She's moved quite along from the days where she would, talk in the royal
The royal
Canterlot
voice.
voice.
I'll have to listen to like old recording of her voice and compare it to the new one and see if it actually does sound different to me.
Okay.
Because I don't think she got a new voice actress, because her voice actress is the same one who plays Rarity.
Yeah, I don't think we had any change there. It may have just been the fact that it's been a while since Saint Germain did the voice, so it may sound slightly different.
She's used to the Rarity voice, so it kind of sometimes bleeds together.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've just about. I'm with my thing. If nobody has anything else, I think we've finished.
Okay, then let me go over my head, see if I have anything more. I guess that song that Applejack sang sounded kind of familiar. The tune did. I'm just gonna put my finger on that. Yeah. I got nothing. Anybody else want to chime in?
I like the episode.
Yeah.
Although all in all, it was good.
Yeah, it was a good study of